Your dog licking your feet might seem cute, maybe even a little gross. But what if I told you it's not always love? For some dogs, it's a quiet scream. I used to think my dog was just being silly until one night. He licked each of us one by one, then curled up in his bed. That morning, he was gone. No warning. Just that one final lick. And looking back, I missed what he was trying to tell me. You see, dogs don't speak in words. They speak in habits, glances, quiet rituals, like licking your feet when you come home from the doctor, or pacing at 3 a.m. while the house is dark. These aren't just quirks. They're clues. Today, I want to walk you through 15 dog behaviors most of us misunderstand, signs that could reveal stress, anxiety, even illness. If you've ever said, "Oh, that's just something he does," this video is for you. Because the truth is, what seems small could be your dog's way of saying, "I'm scared, I'm in pain, please don't ignore me." So let's begin not with a fact or a study, but with the one behavior every dog parent has seen. The midnight bark. It's 2 a.m. The house is still. You're half asleep when woof woof. Your dog jolts the silence with barking. You sit up annoyed, maybe even yell, "Quiet." But the barking doesn't stop. It never really does. Most people think their dog is being annoying, or worse, acting out. But what if they're not barking at nothing? A study from Cambridge University found that dogs, especially those closely bonded to their humans, may bark at night for a surprisingly tender reason: they're checking if you're still alive. In the wild, silence often meant something had gone wrong in the pack. So your dog lying awake in the dark may feel something deep and ancient stirring. Is my family okay, they wonder? And when you don't move, their instinct takes over. I once met a retired man named Alan. His golden retriever Lucy would bark 3 times every single night at 2:30 a.m. When we suggested leaving a recently worn t-shirt by her bed, something that smelled like him, the barking stopped that night. Just like that. Because sometimes a bark in the night isn't noise. It's love checking in. But what if that love shows up not through sound, but through something far more intimate? Let's talk about feet. You're relaxing after a long day. Shoes off, feet up, and suddenly slurp. Your dog is at it again, licking your feet like they're coated in peanut butter. You laugh. Maybe even feel a little weirded out. But most of us shrug it off. She's just being affectionate, we say. But what if that lick is more than love? Normal licking can be a dog's way of bonding. Your feet carry your strongest scent, sweat salt. Even hormones and dogs explore the world through smell. So when your dog gives a few gentle licks, it may be her way of saying, "You're mine. You're safe." But here's what most people miss: obsessive, frantic, or anxious licking can be something else entirely. A 2020 review published in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior confirmed that compulsive licking is often linked to chronic stress allergies, or even internal pain. It's not just habit, it's discomfort turned into ritual. I once treated a sweet lab named Max. He licked his owner's feet for hours every night. Everyone thought it was cute, until Max stopped eating, lost weight, and developed raw skin patches. Turned out, the licking was his coping mechanism. Once we addressed his anxiety and changed his routine, the licking stopped, and Max came back to life. So next time your dog licks your feet, pause. Ask what they might be feeling, not just what you see. Because when love turns into compulsion, it's time to look deeper. And if they suddenly can't meet your eyes anymore, that's the next sign you don't want to ignore. You call your dog's name. He comes tail low, ears down, but won't meet your eyes. You bend down, try to catch his gaze. He turns away. You start wondering, did I do something wrong? Did he stop loving me? Truth is, dogs don't avoid eye contact out of disrespect. They avoid it out of fear. Not fear of you, but fear of disappointing you. Dogs are deeply attuned to our tone, our body language. One raised voice, one angry sigh, one harsh word, those moments stay with them. And over time, a sensitive dog learns eye contact means confrontation. Look away, and maybe I'll stay safe. I once worked with a rescue named Milo. Sweet soul, but deeply shut down. His foster mom tried everything, treats, training, even soft praise, but he never looked at her. Until one evening, she sat beside him, didn't say a word, didn't reach. Just was there. For the first time, Milo looked up and held her gaze. A moment of quiet trust. And she cried. Avoidance isn't rejection. It's a survival strategy, especially for dogs with a painful past. So, if your dog won't look at you, don't force it. Let them come to you in their time. Because sometimes the bravest thing they can do is glance your way. And when they do trust you, they might show it in the oddest way by stealing your favorite shirt. You walk into your bedroom and find your dog curled up on your sweatshirt. Or worse, your work shirt, the one you needed clean. It's chewed, crumpled, and covered in fur. Your first reaction: bad dog. But maybe it's the kindest thing they've done all day. Dogs don't steal clothes to be naughty. They steal scent. Your smell embedded in the fibers of that old t-shirt is the closest thing they have to you when you're gone. In a dog's world, scent equals safety. It's their emotional anchor. Research from the University of Lincoln found that dogs exposed to their owner's scent showed decreased cortisol levels even in stressful situations. Translation: your smell calms them. I remember a man named Joel. He'd leave for his late shift at 5 p.m., and every night his Pomeranian Teddy would dig into the laundry basket, pull out a sock, and sleep with it. Not because he was disobedient, but because he missed him. So next time your dog steals your clothes, don't scold. Offer them something on purpose. An old shirt, worn and soft, placed in their bed. It might just become their comfort, their pillow, their proof that you always return. Because in their eyes, your scent is home. And when they're feeling nervous but still want your trust, they might offer something even more vulnerable: their belly. Your dog flops on their back paws, up belly exposed. You smile, lean down, and go in for a good old belly rub. It feels like trust, pure, unfiltered trust. And sometimes it is, but not always. See, a belly-up dog might be saying, I trust you. Or they might be saying, please don't hurt me. The difference? It's in the details. Look closely. Are their ears pinned back? Is the tail stiff? Are their eyes darting away? If so, that belly isn't an invitation. It's a shield. A sign of submission born from anxiety, not affection. This confusion happens often with rescue dogs or those who've faced punishment. Rolling over becomes a way to de-escalate, not to play, but to survive. I once consulted on a case with a Cavapoo named Millie. Every time someone walked near, she'd roll over frozen. Her family thought she was sweet, but her body told a different story: tense, still uncertain. With time, consistency, and choice-driven interactions, Millie started offering a different gesture: a tail wag, a nuzzle, even eye contact. So, before you go in for that rub, pause. Read the rest of the dog, not just the belly. Because sometimes the most vulnerable pose hides the deepest fear. And if your dog doesn't roll, but gently places a paw on your leg instead, that touch might mean even more than words. You're sitting quietly, maybe watching TV or reading, and then you feel it. A gentle paw resting on your knee. No bark, No demand, just a touch. You glance down and your dog is looking up at you with those big searching eyes. What does it mean? Many owners assume it's cute or random. But that paw, it speaks. And depending on how they give it, it can say many things. A soft paw with calm eye contact. That's connection. I'm here with you. A trembling paw placed repeatedly with whining. That's anxiety. Something's wrong. A firm paw paired with alert ears and pacing. That might be your dog trying to alert you, I need something now. Dogs use their paws like we use our hands. It's their most tactile form of expression. And yet most of us miss what they're trying to say. There's science here too. According to the American Kennel Club, pawing is often a learned behavior reinforced when we respond. But beneath that, it's also instinctual, a sign of emotional engagement. I once met a woman who had a senior dog named Rosie. Every evening, Rosie would place her paw on her chest, right over her heart, and sit still. When asked why, the woman said softly, "She started doing that after my heart surgery. Every night since." A paw isn't just a gesture, it's a bridge. And sometimes your dog doesn't touch you. They just stare, silently, especially when you're eating. And that silence, it's telling you something too. You're halfway through your meal when you feel it, that quiet, unblinking stare. You glance down, and there they are, sitting perfectly still, not whining, not begging, just watching, eyes locked, still, intent. Most people laugh it off. He wants a bite. But if he really wanted food, wouldn't he bark, nudge, whine? What if that stare isn't about food at all? In the wild, wolves and wild dogs operate by hierarchy. The leader eats first. The rest wait calm, patient, respectful. Your dog, even in your modern kitchen, carries echoes of that ancient code. That stare might be less about hunger and more about honor. Of course, if you always slide a piece of chicken under the table, you're sending mixed signals. Suddenly, they're not sure who the leader is. And confused hierarchy can lead to stress, anxiety, even food guarding. I once worked with a man named Brian. His dog, Daisy, had developed sudden food aggression. The cause, months of table scraps, blurred their roles. We reset the dynamic, clear feeding times, consistent commands, and the aggression vanished. So next time your dog watches you eat, pause. Don't feed the moment, honor it. Make them wait, then reward with their own bowl. Respect earned. Trust maintained. Because the stillness at your table might be your dog saying, "You lead. I follow." But what happens when that calm devotion turns into chaos at the sound of a single ding-ding-dong? And just like that, your peaceful home turns into a war zone. Your sweet pup transforms, barking, spinning, jumping claws, skidding across the floor. You shout over the noise, try to calm them down, but nothing works. It feels like protection. You tell your guests, "Oh, he's just guarding the house." But here's the truth. It's not confidence, it's panic. A friend of mine, a behaviorist, once said, 90% of dogs who go ballistic at the door, they're not being bold, they're afraid. That doorbell means unpredictability, new smells, unfamiliar energy. And for many dogs, especially small breeds or rescues, it's overwhelming. I met a client once with a Chihuahua named Bella. She'd lose her mind at the sound of the doorbell. Her owner thought it was funny at first, then embarrassing, then exhausting. But once we reframed the trigger, taught Bella that doorbell meant treat time, not danger, everything changed. 3 weeks later, the door rang, and Bella calmly trotted to her bed. The science supports it too. Reconditioning or changing the emotional response to a trigger is one of the most effective ways to shift fear-based behavior in dogs. So the next time your dog erupts at the door, ask yourself, are they defending you or begging for help? Because sometimes their panic doesn't shout. It paces, in the dark, when the world is asleep. It's 3:00 a.m. You hear it pause on hardwood, soft and steady. You peek out, and there's your dog. Not barking, not restless, just moving, room to room, as if they're searching for something or someone. Most owners shrug it off. He's just weird at night. But what if this wandering has a reason? In younger dogs, midnight pacing often means hypervigilance, an overactive sense of duty. Your dog isn't just awake, they're on watch, checking doors, listening for threats, making sure their pack-you is safe. In older dogs, though, this can be an early sign of canine cognitive dysfunction, a canine version of dementia, confusion, disorientation. The night becomes unfamiliar, and they walk not knowing why. I remember Jake, a German shepherd whose owner worked long hours. Jake started pacing every night, circling the same path. It wasn't until we built him a simple routine, lights dimmed, same bedtime soft music, that his nights settled. He needed permission to rest. He needed to know someone else was in charge. So if your dog wanders while the world sleeps, ask, are they anxious, confused, or just trying to carry a burden they don't need to? Because sometimes their sleepless nights are spent protecting you, and sometimes they don't pace. They just wait quietly until the moment you leave, so they can steal your spot. You step away for just a moment, maybe to grab a glass of water, and when you return, your dog is curled up exactly where you were. Warm spot dent in the cushion, your scent still lingering. You sigh, maybe laugh, maybe gently nudge them off. But what if that little seat swap wasn't mischief, but a message? Dogs don't just lie where it's warm. They lie where it feels safe. And no place in the house feels safer than the spot where you just were. It smells like you. It holds your shape. It carries your presence. Some dogs do this every day. Others only do it when something's changed. A new routine. A long day apart. Emotional distance they can't name but feel. I once met a woman named Claire who started working later shifts. Her dog Jake never used to climb on furniture, but within a week he'd wait until she left and curl up in her chair. Not rebellion, just loneliness. The solution: she didn't push him away. She invited him up while she was there. That simple gesture. It was enough. Because dogs don't always want your seat. They want you. And when they can't be close, when the house is quiet and the day is done, they may carry their hopes into their dreams. And that's where we're going next. You're watching your dog sleep. They're twitching, whimpering. Their paws move like they're running. Their tail gives a lazy wag. You smile. Must be chasing squirrels. But what if I told you they're not just dreaming? They're learning, processing, even remembering you. A study from Harvard found that dogs who exhibit active dream behavior, twitching, vocalizing tail movement, score up to 40% higher on learning and memory tasks. In other words, your dog doesn't just play in their dreams. They rehearse. I worked with a border collie named Luna, who barked silently in her sleep every night. Her owner worried something was wrong until we realized she was replaying her agility drills. The next day, she nailed a course she'd struggled with for weeks. Even more touching dogs often dream about their favorite humans. Brain scans show heightened activity in areas linked to social bonding. So when you see your dog kicking in dreamland, there's a good chance they're not chasing rabbits. They're reliving your walk, your voice, your lap. So next time you see those little paws dance in their sleep, don't wake them. That dream might be building their confidence, or simply holding onto a memory they never want to lose. But what if your dog doesn't wait for dreams to be near you? What if they follow you everywhere, even into the bathroom? That constant presence might be hiding something deeper. You get up from your chair, he follows. You head to the kitchen, he's right behind. You close the bathroom door, he waits outside. You shift in bed, he lifts his head. Always watching. Always near. It feels sweet at first. He just loves me, you think. And maybe he does. But what if that closeness hides something else? Some dogs follow their humans out of habit, others out of devotion. But when the following is constant, it may be a sign of separation anxiety, a quiet panic that builds every time you move away. And if left unchecked, it can grow into something much harder: destructive behavior, depression, even self-harm. I worked with a woman named Sarah, whose rescue dog Milo was her shadow. When she left the house, he'd scratch doors, cry, even chew furniture. But it wasn't disobedience. It was despair. We built Milo a routine: short departures, safe spaces, calm returns. Within weeks, his panic eased. His confidence grew. Veterinary studies confirm it. Shadowing behaviors often appear before full-blown anxiety. Spotting them early can change everything. So if your dog never lets you out of sight, ask, are they connecting or clinging? Because when they start reacting before anything even happens, before the sky changes, before a storm rolls in, you'll know. They're not just following you. They're reading the world. And sometimes they can read the sky better than we can. It's a bright, sunny morning. The sky is clear. But your dog, he's hiding under the bed, pacing, panting, shaking. You check the house, nothing's wrong. You check yourself, you're calm. So, what's going on? Check the forecast for tomorrow. Dogs, believe it or not, can sense weather changes sometimes hours, even days before we do. It's not magic, it's science. Their ears detect infrasound, low-frequency vibrations that signal approaching storms, shifts in barometric pressure, even distant thunder. Their bodies respond to air density, static electricity, and scent particles we'll never notice. I met Maria, whose Labrador Bruno would act strange on the clearest of days. She thought he was ill until she noticed a pattern. Every time Bruno hit it, rained the next day. For 3 months, she tracked it. Bruno predicted 47 out of 50 shifts in weather. Now she watches Bruno closer than she watches the news. It's not just storms. Some dogs sense earthquakes, heat waves, even pressure drops that affect older people with arthritis. Your dog may feel something coming long before you ever do. So when they suddenly act off, don't dismiss it. Watch the sky. Watch your dog. They may be your most sensitive early warning system. But not all storms are external. Some stay inside, silent, hidden, until one day your dog stops doing the things they love, and you realize the real storm is happening within. He used to greet you at the doortail, wagging eyes bright. He used to bring you toys, nudge your hand, curl up at your feet. But lately, he just lies there, still, quiet, present, but not really here. You tell yourself he's just getting older, slowing down. But deep down, something doesn't feel right. And you're not wrong. Some dogs don't whimper when they hurt. They don't cry or lash out. They simply shut down. Chronic pain, anxiety, even grief, they internalize it. And what we see on the outside is a dog who's just tired. I once worked with a family whose golden retriever Max had stopped wagging his tail. He still ate, still went on walks. But the spark was gone. Everyone thought it was age, until an exam revealed he'd been living with undiagnosed arthritis for months. We treated the pain, adjusted his routine, and the tail came back. Studies show that dogs mask pain instinctively, especially around their family. It's part of their survival code to endure, not to burden. So don't just look for what your dog does. Look for what they no longer do. Play, follow, greet, request. Because the dogs who ask for the least often need us the most. And even as their body grows quiet, they're still holding on to one thing, the rhythm of your return. And sometimes they know you're coming home. Before you do. It's 5 minutes before you get home, and your dog is already at the window, waiting, every single day. Rain or shine, weekday or weekend. You've never told them your schedule, but somehow they just know. How it's not the clock, it's not routine, it's you. Dogs can actually smell time. As your scent fades from the house throughout the day, it leaves behind a kind of invisible trail. Your dog knows down to the minute how much of your scent should remain just before you walk through the door. One study from Northwestern University suggests dogs use this scent decay as a kind of internal clock tied not to numbers, but to the chemistry of presence. I met a man named Carl whose schedule changed weekly. Some days he came home at 2 p.m., others at 8. But his dog Rocky waited at the window 10 minutes early every single time. Random tests, no cues, no patterns, just scent. Even more astonishing, dogs can distinguish between weekdays and weekends based on how the house smells. Breakfast routines, human movement, airflow. Their nose doesn't just know you. It knows when you'll be back. So when you see your dog waiting, remember it's not habit. It's hope. It's memory. It's love. Down to the molecule. Because every lick, every stare, every bark. It's never random. And now that you've seen the signs, what will you do with what you know 15 behaviors? 15 ways your dog has been trying to talk to you. And maybe like most of us, you didn't notice until now. That 2 a.m. bark. It wasn't to wake you. It was to check you were still breathing. The foot lick, not affection, but a quiet cry. The stare at dinner, not begging, but respect. The pacing, the paw, the dream twitch, the shadow steps behind you. Every gesture, every glance was their language. And suddenly, it all makes sense. I still think about that night when my dog licked each of us before bed. The next morning, he was gone. And I didn't know then what I know now that was his way of saying goodbye. I missed it. But maybe you won't. Because now you know that dogs don't always cry out when they hurt. They show you, softly, repeatedly, hoping you'll listen. So here's what I hope you take from this. Don't wait for the bark. Don't wait for the limp. Don't wait until they stop playing. Watch the quiet signs. Trust your gut. Ask the question, what are they trying to tell me right now? Because when you start listening, not just reacting, you become more than a pet owner. You become their partner, their protector, their peace. And if this video opened your eyes, stay with me. Because next week, I'm going to share the one sound that can instantly calm an anxious dog. It's something 99% of owners have never heard, and it changed how I train forever. Until then, leave a comment below. Tell me which behavior hit you the hardest. And if this helped you understand your dog a little better, stay close. There's so much more to learn. So much more they're still trying to say.